going to put in the internal walls, the architectural columns, and think about both horizontal and vertical circulation in the model today. At the moment I've got the 3D view opened, and I'm going to go to ground level, and sorry, I'll go back to 3D and just clearly there are parts of the ground level I don't require stairs. I'm going to put in the columns and the internal walls first, and we'll come back to that. And I might in any case just model the stairs in this area, although clearly I don't want to go onto a roof with nothing happening. So I'm going to go to ground level, and I'm going to start off with the internal walls, the ordinary partition walls. The kind of wall I'm going to use, it's going to be an architectural wall. This model is finished, and the structural part of it is complete. Everything from now on will be purely architectural. Including columns, there are two kinds of columns, and our structural columns are in place. So, leaving the columns aside for the moment, I'm going to go to walls, architectural walls, and I'm going to choose some interior wall. And let's remember the last wall I chose was storefront, so I want to change that, and I'm going to come in here, and I'm going to use a block wall, this one here. Now this one's got plasterboard on either side of it. I might change that, or I might just leave it. It really doesn't matter much. So I'm going to select the wall, and then I'm going to come in here, and I'm thinking this central area here is going to be the circulation space horizontally from east to west, and obviously vice versa. So the first two walls I'm going to put in are going to enclose that. And I come in here, and I simply just draw my horizontal wall all the way along to the end. And this one will be here. I might need to move this window here, this curtain wall rather. I'm just going to bring it all the way along here and finish it there. And I'll just look at this in 3D. If I find I can't see it, I might make a 3D slice through this building on the ground floor so I can see what's going on inside. And in fact that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'll right click on the 3D default view, and I'll just make a copy of it. And I'll rename it 3D ground, 3D ground level. Okay, and then I right click on the cube, orient to view, floor plan. This one's going to orient to the ground level. There'll be a 3D version of the ground. Bring this up like that, and round the bit of the model that I've sliced through, I've got a section box, and I'm just going to bring this up until I see the beams appear. I'm going to select the section box and just use the grips, which is easier said than done. I'm going to bring that up until I see the beams appear. If I see the floor appear, then clearly I've come too far, so I want to come down. I'm slicing through the floor above now. I just want to see the beams here so I can get basically like a view inside this model as I model things like these internal walls that I just modelled a moment ago. So, and I'm also going to WT that because I work in plan view much of the time. I'll shut down this, and then I'll WT it again, bring that in the middle. And this is basically where I'm going to do much of the work in here. And you'll see it appear in 3D. My idea is that this is the circulation space right through the middle of the building here. And I'm going to put doors in here. I don't know what doors I've got loaded. I'll just find out now though. When I go to the door tool, I can see the doors I've got loaded. Well, I've got virtually nothing of any use. I've got a few exterior double flush doors and a few internal doors. So I'm just going to ignore that, and I'll go to Insert, Load Family, and go to the library. I've got the library saved in places here. UK doors. We'll use external doors. Let's see what we have. These are all. Many of them look like kind of housey type doors to me. Yeah. Right, okay. So I'm just going to browse away from there. I've got some doors saved elsewhere on this next one, so I'm just going to browse to it. Additional family files. I've got a revolving door in here that would be nice. So I'll open that up. It's an old model, an old family file, so it's software upgraded to 2016, that's this version. But that would happen in any release of Revit. Whatever version you have, it'll update it to it. And it's a door, so I'm going to use the door tool, and I'm just going to place it in the plan view. I'm going to put two of them either end. It's quite a big commercial building this, so I won't spare the horses, and we could possibly do one of these not being a revolving door. One of them should perhaps be a sliding door or even just a manual door, but that can be changed at the end. I just want to get some kind of door in place. And at this end, something very similar. I'll zoom in, I'll just pop it in here. And I'll make that modification to this window here, while I'm here. Just cut roll. I'll just bring it there. And down here, you should see where that change was. There's the door, and I think it's this window here that I changed. I've got another one here, I don't know if you can see it, there's a clash. There's a bit of a storefront cut and rolling, and I can see this column behind it. I'm going to change that while I'm here as well. That looks to be down here somewhere. And basically I'm just going to move that to the other side of the column so that it looks a bit more respectable. Alright, you don't really want the column shining through the glass walls, but it's a detail and it's not what we're doing today. I'm just kind of looking at it. Now, I'm going to carry on with the walls and then do the columns. You can do these in either order. You could have done the columns first, it makes no difference. But I'm going to do the walls first. And I'm going to put in, make that bigger so you can see it. I'm going to put in the walls just starting from this side. We'll start here. And these are going to be the kind of shops or restaurants or whatever it is we decide on. Go straight through there, right to the wall. And these are, you can hopefully see this appearing over here in 3D as I do this. There's them appearing in here. And I'm just going to keep going. These are all going to be the same size. I might make one of them a bit bigger. And there's just make these corrections to this as I'm here. This is glass. Just make that wee window there. I kind of want to keep the columns behind the brick wall rather than the glass wall. That's over here somewhere. I'm not quite sure. I'm going to have a wee look at this for a second. I've got one wall and other one, so I've got too many walls for my taste. I'm going to delete that one. I'm going to delete that one. Okay, so here we are, walls, internal walls, so back to architecture. Just double check that that's still the block wall, the partition wall. Nothing structural about this, it's just purely architectural, dividing the shops into the different shop units. And so I'm reaching the end, and I'm fine with that. So here you should see I've got them all divided at one side here. That's the internal walls that I've put in, and this is the main kind of mall area, the horizontal circulation space. From here right through the middle to here. Now these are going to be shops. Clearly I want the doors and windows and stuff on this side, and possibly the same on that side, to allow for footfall on the building, so that these shops are going to be more easily likely to get people into their shops, their businesses. So I'm just going to carry on with the walls and get them done on both sides. There's no fast way of doing this, I'm afraid. Just got to get it done. It's a straightforward operation, really. It's a bit of patience. I'm going to make this. I'm going to leave one out here. I'll make this kind of one big shop in this kind of mall area. And I'll come in here. Now I'm going to divide this end one here, and I have an idea that this is going to be a security, plant room, toilets. This is like services in this area. So I'm going to put out just a wall dividing it in half, from here to here. And I'll come back to that because I threw in a corridor in here and decide what I'm going to do with this. I've got the walls in, you can see it in here. Now it's architectural columns. If you go to Architecture tab, you'll see under the column tool there are two options, the structural columns and the architectural columns. But all our structural columns are in place, these UC columns. I'm simply using an architectural column to wrap around them. And the default is a rectangular column, 450 by 600 is fine for me. And again, there's no fast way of doing this, you just have to carefully go around them all manually, and it just takes a minute or two. I think I got that wrong, excuse me. So, column, architectural, and with a bit of care, more than I used here, place it over the structural column. And I don't know if you can see what's happening here, but it's taken on the properties, the surfaces of this kind of wall that we're associating with it here. This external wall. And then I'm just going to go through the whole model like this, so you can imagine this is going to take me a good few minutes. Just make a cup of tea while I'm doing this. You've got to get it right though. So it's manual, so you can make mistakes. Making mistakes is something I'm quite accomplished at, I think. Architectural column, just carefully place it over the middle of the column, alright? Don't forget the corner ones. And then I'm just going to come all the way up, do the same along this. And these are the ones that are kind of halfway through the shops. And you can see the kind of behaviour they adopt. They follow the materials of the wall, which is a nice behaviour, a nice feature. Architectural columns, they don't do much, you can't think of them as decor. Some buildings, they're not there at all, people keep a here to get out with them, and so I'm suggesting to you. And one here. And then carefully coming up the building, wrapping round the columns, structural columns. These are often block, maiden block, concrete block, and that serves to protect the steel. I often use stairwells to protect the columns and stairwells. Often just used generally to protect steel and steel framing. Right. I hope you're not falling asleep as I do this, but there's no other way of doing it. You've just got to do it manually. A wee tool in here would have been nice if it just would put them at columns, but no, we don't have that. We can moan all we like. I don't think Autodesk are listening to us. I'm just going to carry on putting these columns in. I might not do them all actually, I'm getting a bit fed up. As you can maybe tell. Delete that one. Place them accurately over. It's just an elevation marker that we should have moved earlier on. I'll move it later on, but that's what it is. You can just ignore it for now. Right. You can see in 3D these columns. You can see in 3D these columns are in here. They're wrapped around the kind of business end of the column, the structural column. And that's how they look. Architectural columns. Now, in some of these exterior walls we put a walling inside it and we simply cut geometry with it. I'm going to do the same in here. I'm going to do it in plan. I prefer to do this in plan. Some people can do it in 3D. Great, but I'm not one of them. So I'm going to go back to the architectural wall tool, and this time I'm going to change it to a curtain wall and the curtain wall storefront. And I'm simply going to place it in the middle there. I'm going to make it quite big. I'm going to make it 8 meters long. And this error message you get here, but highlighted walls overlap, you can simply ignore that. Clearly they overlap, one's going inside the other. So I'll just move that out of the way instead of continually shutting it down. And I'm just going to carry on with these and put them in. I can make them all the same at 8 meters, or I can just kind of randomly place them by eye. I'm going to start off being good, putting them all the same, but I'm probably going to get fed up and just put them in randomly. At the moment they're all 8 meters. That was 7.9. I'm not even going to change it, I just want you to know how to do this rather than get fussy about the size of it. The size of it can be changed. 8.1, I think that one is. And just in here somewhere. And you can cut these in plan or in 3D. I'm going to cut them in plan. I go to the Modify tab, Cut Geometry tool lives here, and you select the bigger wall and you cut it with a smaller wall. I'll just move that along a wee bit so you can see it appear. What's it there? So, cut geometry. This wall, cut it on that one. And you just keep doing it. You have to select the big wall first every time though. It's a wee bit laborious, but what can I say? It gets it done. Cut geometry. Select that wall and cut it with that one. And you'll see them appearing over here in 3D. Right, that's that. Right. Using the 3D window, I'm going to select one of them. And I'm going to drag it down from the top. The wall will appear above it. And I don't want them all to be sitting kind of all the way up to the beam. I want a bit of the wall to be sitting in here. And I'm happy with that height, so I'm going to borrow the properties and paint it onto all the other properties. The Match Type Properties tool is in here, in the Modify tab. And I'm going to use those properties and just simply paint them onto that. And you'll see the heights will conform, they're all the same height, these curtain walls all the way along. So at least we can see into the shop at the moment. I can't actually get into it, but we can see into it. I'm going to get into it now. I'm going to leave these because my suggestion is if you can do them on this side, you can do them on any side. So I'm going to load in some curtain wall panels which are doors. You'll notice if I go to the door tool, I can't actually place a door. I won't use a revolving door, I'll use just some exterior door. And it's not, it gives me the no entry sign. So I can't place them on a curtain wall. I can place them on this kind of wall here. That would be fine. But I can't place them on the curtain wall. I have to load in the curtain wall panels. And they live in the library. UK. And carefully ignoring doors, but going to curtain wall panels. I'm going to choose just some standard shop front door. Single. That one that will do. Anyone will do. You can choose any of these, but I'm going to choose this one. And to do it, it's a wee bit odd. Again, I can't just use that door and try and insert it. I have to mouse over the curtain wall and tab through until I get a single panel. Well, that panel there will do me fine for a door. I select it and then I just swap it for the door. I don't know if you can see, but there's a door in there now, down here. Okay. You do that, you repeat that process all the way along. Right. Now, this is the area I want to have a think about here. I'm going to think about stairs, lifts, plant room, toilets, all in this area here. I'm going to make this toilet area here. And I'm going to put stairs in here to get from one area to the next. Now, when you do stairs, when you start to think about the vertical circulation, let's use the proper language, you should think about in a 3D model where it's going to. Now, I know that this isn't going to go in the right place. It's going to be over here, in fact, somewhere. It's going to be in here, and it's going to take me up to the floor. That's nothing there, okay? Just basically onto the roof. But I just want to how to model them. So I'm going to come back in the ground level, and I'm going to use this area here. Shut some of this down. And this is the area here I want to concentrate on. So I'm going to model the stairs in here. And then I'll come back and think about what to put in here. Probably toilets, I'm guessing. But this area here, I'm going to put stairs in. Stairs tool is in the architectural column, architectural tab. And there are two stair tools. One of them is a stair by component, and one of them is a stair by sketch. This is I'm going to use this stair by sketch tool. I'll show you how to model straight run stairs, L-shaped stairs, Z stairs. The most common one, the one in fact we'll use in this building is the U-shaped stair, and I'll just show you how they work. Stair by component is fine, but there are other videos that show you how to use those if you should want to use that. I'm going to try with this one. I think it's more flexible, this one. So stair by sketch. Now, I like to do them in plan view, so I'm looking at this ground level plan. And I'm just going to draw a straight run stair just so you can see what it looks like. I'll draw it from here to here. Now, the software is telling me, in the smallest possible print imaginable, that's telling me I'm going to need 24 risers to get from this floor to this level to the level above, the ground level to level 1. So I'm going to go with that. That's my stair. I just click on it. You'll notice just before I come back to this and edit it, I've got 3 lines in here. I've got 2 green lines. These are the boundary lines. I've got the kind of run line. That's like the leader of the orchestra, if you know what I mean. It's the governor of the stairs. Tells you what shape the stairs going to have. And these wee black lines are the risers. So I'm going to delete the 2 boundary lines, the 2 green boundary lines. Just select them and then delete them on your keyboard. And I'm going to show this says boundary in here, and I'm going to give it an arc boundary. So I'm going to make this just not a straight run stair. I'll just change my mind. I'm going to bring them back. I'll let you see it as a straight run stair before I start to edit it. So if I zoom into 3D here, you can see I've got a straight run stair. I'll hide off this wall so you can see it. I'll hide off the section box and the wall. Give me a minute, I'll fit over this. Aye. Section box. Hide. And then I want to hide that stair so you can see what's going on. I want to hide that wall so you can see what's going on. And I think I'll hide this one as well. So I'm careful to put the walls in and hide them off, but just temporarily. So that's a straight run stair. Okay, it's not very exciting, it's straightforward. Straightforward kind of stair. You have to be careful you don't intrude on the beams. When you're modelling stairs, you don't want the stair to be running right through here. You just be careful. This stair here, I'm going to edit it a wee bit, so I select it. I'm going to do this in plan. I prefer to work with plan and stairs. I'm going to edit the sketch, and as I said before, I've got 3 lines: green boundary lines, blue run lines, and the black riser lines. So I'm going to delete the 2 boundaries of the stair, and just keep your eye on this that it still says boundary, and I want to draw this one as an arc, so I'm going to line that one up there, and I'm just going to make this side, this boundary line, slightly arc. I'll make it kind of flare out like that, and I'm going to simply mirror that against this run line. I can use any straight line, but I've got this run line handy, so I'm going to use that. So I select it, and I use the mirror Pickaxes tool, and I'll use this run line as my axis. That'll be fine. And then I'm going to, these bottom 3 risers, I'm going to delete them, and this time making sure I've selected the riser line tool. I'm going to make the bottom trade. I'm going to make it arc. I'm going to make it quite a big one at the bottom. And I've got 3 to replace, so riser, arc, and the next one, so 2 end places, and just make this not quite such a big arc. And the third one, a smaller arc, still an arc but smaller. Well, an arc but only just. And finish that there. And you'll see your stair, and if it's round the wrong way, like mine is clearly, I don't want the curved steps at the top. We'll just flip the stairs for you, this wee button here, this wee arrow. It'll behave in a much more usual way. So I've got a straight run stair, I've modified it here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some U-shaped stairs. I'm just going to delete that, and you go back to the stair tool, and it's a stair by sketch. Remember that it needs 24 risers to get from the level to the level above, so I'm just going to simply go 12 and 12, that's 12, and then I bring it back on itself here. Oops, 12 and 12, and then I click tick, and I've got in here a U-shaped stair, and that's a stair that we kind of copy up through the building, carefully not intruding on the beams. I'm just going to leave that there, but it's in the wrong place in any case. Oh, correction, I'm going to move it a wee bit out of the way. So, U-shaped stairs, straight run stairs, a whole lot of these. We'll just keep going. Stair by sketch. I'm now going to put in an L-shaped stairs. I'll do 12 and 12 again. In the commercial building, it's usually halfway. In the domestic dwelling, the first part of the run can be a great deal smaller. It's a floor height issue. Commercial building, it won't be. I'm just going to put in an L-shaped stair, and if I finish it, you'll see it in 3D appearing here. Okay, and I'm going to delete that, and the final one I'm going to do, you can do Z-shaped stairs as well. There, just do one that kind of look attractive. And then just start over here. So I'm starting in the wrong place. Yeah, it wasn't very smart. Just give me a second. start over here and make it this shape. So that'll give me a Z-shaped stair if I finish it. And I'm not caring about beams and what I'm put on now, but you can see that you can possibly see why it's called Z-shaped. This. Alright, that's the Z-shaped stair, and then the useless one, I think it's useless, is the spiral stair. They look pretty but useless. I'll make it draw as an arc, so on a good day, as you can see. Finish. That's a kind of arc. They do look pretty, no question. Useless. So I'm going to delete that. And mechanical means of getting up and down the building include things like lifts and escalators. I don't intend to do that today. I'm trying to get this done so you can model the building. Now, in your building, I would like all of these to have holes in your building, to have the internal walls in. And clearly I don't want to do that in the video, it'll take up too much time. I'd like all the doors in, and that would be sufficient for this workshop. I'm going to call it a day at that. Alright, thank you very much, bye bye.